Hi, everybody. Today on the pod, we're talking about the transformative nature of the emotion of awe and how cultivating it can only improve your outlook on life and perhaps even your overall health. So I'm Juliana J. This is the I Care About You podcast. And today we're talking about taking the time to be awestruck and what that will do to your outlook on life and even your health. I wanted to explore this topic because it seems so simple to bring awe into our lives, and the benefits are really great. But on the flip side of that, I also feel we forget to be awestruck in life. It's so easy to lose our feelings of awe as we become desensitized to things, or we're too busy, life's super busy now, or we simply think being awestruck is stupid or childlike or embarrassing or the big one, not cool. We let social constructs keep us from this immense joy of discovery and awe. Such a simple thing can bring so much to your life, and the changes can be really profound. So what I'm talking about here is Dr. Draker Keltner book, Awe, examines much of this research and findings in greater detail. I urge you to read it. It's a beautiful account of the research behind the emotion of awe and all the work that was done to really put some meaning to awe other than just being this childlike wonder as it's so often touted as. I'm excited about this topic today because it resonates with me so deeply. Finding space where you are profoundly affected by positivity, by something you can't quite explain, is really a lovely and amazing concept. And wow, there are so many things I can't explain around me that are awe-inducing and inspiring. I have just become desensitized to so many of them. For example, when you first do a commute, you're amazed at something wonderful you see on the drive, but over time it becomes mundane. Y'all, I used to commute literally right next to the Pacific Ocean. There was the highway and the ocean, and then mountains on the other side. At times, the ocean was so close it would wash up on the road if the waves were big enough. And yet over time, I barely looked at it with awe. Many days would go by where I was just driving, thinking about my job and things like that, and I forgot to just take a moment to look to the side and be in awe. I mean, I even saw things like whales breaching. I used to look for dolphins, and then over time I just stopped. I redefined it as something just mundane that happens all the time. I mean, can you imagine what a gift that was, that commute? Before we begin, let's talk about what awe is, actually. Awe is the feeling you get when looking at something grand or vast that challenges your understanding. It's almost as though you look at it and you can't quite understand it in your mind. It can be very closely related to fear or reverence as well. A sense of awe can give way to a feeling of wonder and vice versa. Wonder is exploratory and it's a desire to figure it out. So in short, awe is an emotion of overwhelming reverence, can be fear or admiration. Often it's something powerful and grand. Now, we're not going to talk about the fear aspect of awe, but the fact that fear is so closely on the edge there when you see something of awe, but yet it's amazing, right? That's a whole nother topic I'm not really going to get into. But wonder, on the other hand, is a feeling of openness and curiosity and a desire to unravel the mystery that arises from the experiences of awe. When you think about it, awe could be considered scary, but it could also be amazing. You can feel awe when listening to powerful music or attending an amazing play or seeing an extraordinary art piece that really speaks to you, or it can be between the pages of a book or poetry or spoken word. You can experience awe in nature on a hike alongside your daily commute. It can be found in inspiring videos and even in food and things like that. Tactile experiences, using your senses, all can literally be found everywhere. But we've turned off our senses to it quite often because life's so fast-paced, we really don't have time to stop and look at something with a state of awe and wonder. So research suggests that taking the time to experience awe on a daily basis, whether on a grand scale like the Northern Lights or the way rain falls on the tree outside. All of this may be a pathway to improving one's life and relationships. So, what are the benefits? Research suggests that awe can reduce stress and help you feel more overall satisfaction with your life. Research has also been done that suggests feeling awe can be good for your health, reducing chemical levels in your body that will lead to inflammation. Feelings of awe can help you think more critically. I love this one because it's so true. Studies show that children who experience awe are more likely to come up with ideas about how something might happen or work. Wonder fosters exploration. So, in seeing something of awe like a giant waterfall, it can lead you to exploring how that is possible. And that can create critical thinking in all of us, not just children. Studies also showed that people who experience awe were less persuaded by arguments that weren't really that valid. They thought more critically on their own about things they saw because taking a moment to look at awe brings up the wonder of how is that possible? And kind of hones your critical thinking. Awe can also sharpen your brain's thinking capacity by giving us more understanding of the world around us. To see a lot of things that you're in awe of and wonder about just kind of is like a workout for your brain in a way. How does that work? What is that? It increases your capacity and it gives you a more of an understanding and a reverence for things like nature or they can't be explained. People in awe, this is a quote from the research, start to appreciate their sense of selfhood as less separate and more integrated with a larger existence. Researchers also go on to say the experience of awe elevates people from their mundane concerns, which are bounded in daily experiences. So when you spend a lot of time really in awe of things, these mundane concerns of life become smaller and your desire to understand becomes larger. Awe can also help you not take things as hard as you do. A recent study provides further evidence on this idea, suggesting that awe can function as a buffer against negative emotion when one loses material possessions, let's say, or things like a job. Another byproduct of spending time in awe is that you slowly over time develop less ego and more humility. Research suggests that people who experience awe in nature come away feeling more humbled by it because how can you not? And they also feel more connected to the world around them at the same time. You start to see the world with more direct connection and might become less concerned with outside forces. People also reported more security in understanding their strengths and weaknesses and being okay with their own lack of perfection. Now, y'all know me. I constantly say perfection doesn't really exist. So I put this lack of perfection in quotes because we all know what that means. But yet I think we could talk about it differently and hopefully that will happen someday. Another great thing that experience awe can do for you is make you feel more expansive with your time. People experiencing awe reported that they had more time to do things and achieve goals. They felt less rushed. And I find this to totally be true. If you spend time just going, wow, this was so amazing, it's almost like time slows. Time slows down. It kind of puts things in perspective a little bit more for you than it normally when you're just going through your day, the highest setting possible. You don't really take the time to marvel at anything, and marveling at something slows down time. Try it. Awe also cultivates generosity. Researchers theorize that because we feel more connected to others and the world around us, we're more generous and more compassionate. We feel we have more time for others and we focus less on ourselves. That's kind of due to all the things I mentioned earlier, just feeling connected to the world, feeling like you have more time, having a bit more humility, having a bit more understanding of yourself, feeling okay with yourself and where you are and your strengths and weaknesses can naturally lead you to be more helpful to others and to actually have more compassion. If we can foster a sense of being in awe on a daily basis, then we capture and keep these feelings more often in our daily lives. We don't just go hiking once a year out in Yosemite and experience great awe. And for that week, time is slower. You're more connected. You're feeling more like you can relax a little bit more. But then you go back to work, and for the whole year, you don't experience any sense of awe, you're starting all over again every time. So if you can work it into your daily life, it becomes more of a way of being and less of this thing you're doing once a year or when you're on vacation or something of that nature. So how do we foster more awe in our lives? Dr. Keltner suggests doing an awe audit, which I love this idea so much. He suggests that you list out the things that used to bring you awe and wonder, and then ask yourself, do they still? Do you make a point of seeing them and experiencing them to their fullest? Oftentimes we get in a rut and we forget to stop and experience awe. As a consequence, we stop seeing what used to bring us awe and wonder. Like when you are a new parent and you're that total awe you felt when you held your child for the first time, and now they're a teenager and you've forgotten that sense of awe that you once had because time has passed and now you're knee deep in all these responsibilities and navigating the balance between parenthood and the rest of life, and you forget to stop and revel in your life and be in awe of what has happened. So do an awe audit. Write down what used to bring you awe. Does it still? What brings you awe now? Anything? When you're going through hard times, you may not be able to experience awe at all, and you'll need to rekindle it and find it again. It can be times are just too stressed and fast-paced and you don't have time, or it could be something big, like a big loss, which makes it hard for you to look around and see awe because you're really in it, in those, a bad moment in your life, a challenging moment in your life, a hard moment in your life. You're stricken with emotions like grief and sadness and guilt and other things. And it's very hard to see awe during those times. It's also very hard to recalibrate when you feel yourself coming out of those hard times, working through those hard times, and then reinstilling the state of awe. It can get left by the wayside. What might bring you awe and wonder? Think to yourself in order to find it again. Is it going to live music, a play, spoken word, an art show? What is it? What puts you in a state of awe and wonder? Is it just sitting and looking around at your life once in a while? I mean, sometimes I just do that and I'm like, wow, look at what's happened. Look at my life. That's crazy. And I'm in a state of awe just in things like that. Once you have your list, ask yourself, how do I get more of this? What brings me to awe, and how do I cultivate it in my daily life? Can you spend more time with people that make you feel awestruck? I mean, for me, it's like just some really amazing thinkers or some really incredibly beautiful human beings who are saying the most incredible things that are so awe-inspiring to me. Surrounding myself with more people like that. How can you experience nature more or art more? What about dancing or chanting or singing? What are some things that you can cultivate more in your life? What groups of people are experiencing awe? And how can you engage with them? Is it a hiking group on Meetup or an improv group at the library? And what about the library? And everything inside of it that is just incredible. And what about even your phone? And those videos and inspiring quotes and books and all kinds of things that are kept in your phone that are awe-inspiring. This is especially important if you find yourself somewhere where it's hard to see nature or see people for whatever reason. It's not the best thing to pick because you do need to get away from your screens every once in a while, but also it's a great resource. There are inspiring videos, movies, news stories, etc. that you can watch during your day. In my day, it was a National Geographic. That brought me constant awe as a kid. And the encyclopedia and the local museum and ballet and dance and music in the park, all these things as a kid were just so amazing. So make a list. Is it amazing chocolate? What is it? How can you experience it more every day? How can you bring more awe-inspiring moments and events into your daily life? Big or small, how can you be inspired daily by amazing nature and everything around you? I mean, literally, you could be awe-inspired by anything, by this computer. How amazing I'm talking to you through this computer right now. It's just really how you look at things. It's taking a moment to look at things in a different way. I want to say, like, my sister is so good at this. She is so awe-inspired at the most incredible things, and I love it. She hikes a lot and does all these other things. She just sent me something today where she was in a tea house and she was inspired by how beautiful it was and funky it was and the tea she was drinking. And I so appreciated that because here she is in town, not necessarily in nature, and she's finding a moment to be awestruck at where she is. And it's so beautiful. If you can find somebody like that who so easily is awestruck by things, she'll send me videos from hikes and all kinds of things that are incredible and brighten my day. And I just really I work to stop whatever I'm doing and go like, wow, she just sent me something awe-inspiring. I'm going to look at it and be inspired too. And it does really lift your spirits so much. And also, other things that can bring you to a sense of awe are things that happen to you, oddly enough, in your own life. Like, I don't know how many of you saw the unboxing of my book video that I posted, but that was a moment of awe for me. To see and hold my book, it literally brought me to tears because I almost couldn't understand what I was holding. It was like the tangible that had been so kind of esoteric in my life for such a long time was actually physically in my hands. It was just a complete moment of awe in so many ways. And so you can even find that within your own life. It can also be a moment between you and someone else that is almost unexplainable, like an unexpected moment of kindness. I saw a video this morning from someone I follow who was talking about how they had a bad day and then they bought a bunch of donuts and brought them over to people, and this simple act of kindness that they did and the people that received them was just a really beautiful changing moment for them, because prior to that something had happened that really made them withdraw and feel bad. And so this little act of kindness that they did with the donuts expanded their view of the day into something that was more amazing. Or even laughter. I mean, laughter. How does that happen? What causes it to be so contagious? I mean, we can explain it scientifically. Some of us, I'm sure. I can't. But what an incredible, awe-inspiring thing that you can share laughter with somebody, even during moments of extreme challenge. So find something that brings you awe, and then go out and experience it and revel in it and remember it and write about it and be just so consumed by it for even just a minute. Spend time in that space. Awe brings us joy, hope, curiosity, happiness, humbleness, reverence, good feelings, and it's very grounding. Knowing we are part of this amazing thing in some way, we are experiencing the waterfall as the water falls, is just amazingly grounding. And it will really help you shift your perspective in life. You will be shocked and amazed at how much just cultivating small moments of awe will expand your life in so many wonderful, wonderful ways. So let me know how it goes. And for now, take good care, my friends, and know that I love you and I support you, and let me know how it goes. And if you liked this podcast, please like it, subscribe, and if you're so inclined, please order my book, Reasons to Live, which I will put a link in the description. I'll also put a link of a book called Awe, Dr. Keltner's book. I really want to know how it goes for you. Do it for a little while, or what does bring you awe? I'd like to know that too, because perhaps I haven't thought of it, and it would also bring me a sense of awe. And let's be in amazement together. So, have a good day. Take good care.